All right, what's going on, everyone? It's Simon, and today I'm just going to be working on breaking down some interviews, pulling out some snippets for some upcoming work that I'm going to be doing with Yezalalem Minch Project. So I figured I'd just hop on here and let you guys enjoy, ask questions about post production, what it's like working with these types of organizations, that kind of thing. Be sure to say hey in the chat as you log on. Yeah, other than that, can't wait to chat with you. Forgot I gotta come over here and let you guys actually see what I'm doing. Hang on one second. Just gotta switch something for technical difficulty. All right, can you hear me talk? Are you able to hear me talk? Testing, testing. All right, we are having some technical difficulties. Just hang on a second. There we go. All right, are you guys able to hear that? Are we good? You guys are able to hear everything now? All right, sorry about that. All right, so basically, I'm just cutting interviews, trying to find good sound bites, and what I have to do is I have to wait for the end of the clip, the translated, and then go back and take in this would be in Amharic, which is the main language for Ethiopia.
ለምሳሌ ግቢ ስንሄድ ስለ ሱስ ምናምን የተሰጠን ስልጠና በአላማ የህፃኖች ግቢ ውስጥ እንድንወቅ ምናምን አልኩኝ።
When I was here in Yezalalem Minch as a beneficiary, I got different training, and from the training that what skill life training. That training helps me when I was joined to university to shape my destiny, to focus on my education and to be reached on this point. So I got different skills when I was in Yezalalem Minch. And then also I got friendship with the element that also has a great impact on my life right now. Income for high life, so that I need someone to support me.
Yezalalem Minch almost ለምሳሌ ግቢ ስንሄድ ስለ ሱስ ምናምን የተሰጠን ስልጠና በአላማ የህፃኖች ግቢ ውስጥ እንድንሳተፍ የተደራረግነው የተሰጡን ስልጠናዎች ምናምን
And from the training that what skill life training. That training helps me when I was joined to university to shape my destiny, to focus on my education and to be reached on this point. So I got different skills when I was in Yezalalem Minch, and then also I got friendship with the Yezalalem Minch that also has a great impact. My life right now. ሌላ ወደፊት ምን ለመሆን ትፈልጋለህ?
Hey Scott, how are you doing, buddy?
need help.
Okay. You also need. Okay.
Does he have a favorite memory from being a part of YZM?
ያው ሜሞሪ ምንድን ነው ደግሞ ፓርት ኦፍ ሜሞሪ ያው ቅድም የነገርኩህ ነው። ሜሞሪ ምንድን ነው? ትዝታ ትዝ የሚል ነገር በጣም ምንድን ነው የምትለው ነገር ዘላለም ሚንጫው
Scott, what are you working on?
የሚልና በጣም ሜሞሪ የሚነካ ውስጥ
ያኔ ከሀያ
YZM. So
ዘላለም at that time there was no any hope in my heart, but my hope is revived when I was joined here in Yezalalem Minch. ላልሰማ ሰው እንዴት ነው የዘላለም ምንጭ የምትገልጽለት?
I will express Yezalalem Minch as my family.
Okay,
what's for lunch, Scott?
that's my family.
That's good. That's it. Alright, so the big thing that I'm doing is making sure that I grab the English with the Amharic, because what I want to do is I am trying to make sure that I can send this to someone for exact translation and that we know what the ballpark is and make sure it fits. A lot of times I'll do the test edit or like the rough edit with them layered above each other so that way I can listen to the English and makes my life easier. And that way I can send the final exactly what words are used in the final to get translated. Can you hear me better now, Scott? What about now? Is that better? Okay. Is this better? I'm trying a couple different things with audio today, so troubleshooting. How about now? Are we getting better? Awesome. Perfect. Oh, wrong person. There we go.
ስሜ ሊያ ካቻ ይባላል።
My name is Lia Kacha.
እዚህ ዘላለም ምንጭ መስራት የጀመርኩት 2007 በኢትዮጵያ አቆጣጠር ነው።
I've been working for Yezalalem Minch for the past 5 years. As
It would be tea, mother. It's tea that I am slurping.
I was a teacher.
እና እዚህ ዘላለም ምንጭ ከገባሁ በኋላ በዋና መምህርነት በማስተማር እያገለገልኩ ነው።
Since I joined to Yezalalem Minch, I'm serving as the main teacher of the kids of preschool.
እና እዚህ ዘላለም ምንጭ ውስጥ ያየሁት ምንድን ነው እንደ ሌላ መስሪያ ቤት የኔ ስራ ነው አንተ ነህ በሚል በግዴለሽነት ሳይሆን በመተሳሰብ ፋሚሊ የቲም ወርክ አለ። በጣም እንደ ቤተሰብነት ተሰምቶ ነው የምሰራው።
Scott, it's definitely better than energy drinks. Or did you give those up when you went keto?
ያን ነገር በጣም
When I joined to Yezalalem Minch, the surprise thing that I got is the teamwork or the spirit of the staff. And it's not like an organization, but it's a family.
እና እዚህ ዘላለም ምንጭ ውስጥ
Yesterday, I prepared myself to care for them and with a lot of love, and also I have to prepare myself
That's one way to get rid of drinking energy drinks.
for capable love they need. And as far as my understanding, or as much as possible, I try to give love for them.
እና ያው ለልጆቹ የተሻለ ምን መስራት አለብን ነገር እናስባለን።
Always I'm what is better for the children. Always this is my dream. What is better for them.
ወንዶች ላይ መስራት
In the future, I have a desire to work focusing on the children like this.
እና አስባለሁ።
That's very true, Scott. Very true.
I'm a brother for the children.
At least you didn't go to Dr. Thunder or whatever the off-brand Dr. Pepper is. Scott, but I feel like Dr. Pepper is one of those sodas that like you can't even come close. Where Coke, you can at least like get it a little bit close. It's not perfect, but it's a little bit close.
ሌበር ስቶሪ ያለሽ ወይ አስተማሪ በመሆንሽ አስተማሪነትሽ በሙያሽ
እዚህ ሳይሆን ሌላ ቦታ ስሰራ አንድ ልጅ አለኝና በጣም ከልጆች ወጣ ያለ ሰው በጣም እና
That's what you get for 6-day or 6K footage. All that data crunching goodness, Scott. And we're gonna scrap that.
የዘላለም ምንጭን ለሚያውቀው ሌበር ስቶሪ ላለው አጋጣሚ ስለ ዘላለም ምንጭ ስትገልጪ እንዴት ነው ለሌላው የምትገልጪው? ዘላለም ምንጭ
የዘላለም ለምሳሌ እኛ ቅርብ ነን በቃ እንደሌላው አይደለም። እኔ በጣም ለልጆች ትኩስ ነገር ነው የሚቀርበው። እኔ ድረስ ስራ አይሰራም። ሁሉም አስቦ ነው የሚያደርገው እና እኔ ስናገር ራሱ አሁን ሌላ ትምህርት ከዚህ በፊት ልጆች ምግባቸውን ሳይነግሩ
3 hours long, Scott? That's crazy.
ጥሩ ምግብ ትኩስ ባለሙያ ቀለል ያለም ባለሙያ እዚህ አሁን ልጆች በጣም ወደ ስጋቸው የሚገቡበት እና ያለውን ሁኔታ እንዳለ ሰራተኛ እንደገና ደግሞ ሰራተኛው ለልጆች ያለው ፍቅር እኔ ማለት የምሬ ነው የምናገረው እዚህ ነገር ስናገር ማለት ነው እና እዚህ የሚሰራው ግን ልጆችን ወዶ ነው አስቦ እንደ ራሱ አይቶ ነው እና ያ ነገር በጣም ደስ ይለኛል። ለሌላውም እንደዛ ነው ቤተሰብ ለማህበረሰብ
What I wanted to express that about Yezalalem is that yes, we are here with the ministry, and not only me, most of the staff have a great love and huge help for the children. Even when we prepare the food is prepared, properly. Everybody serious with that issue, but we are feeding the children as if our child, our biological child. This is the love what I got, what I see from the staff, and very impressive me also.
Yeah, I remember when you did that. I didn't realize you were doing a master of all of their stuff. That's a lot of data. All right, so one of the nice things with what I'm doing is I've already multicammed the. I don't know why I keep looking over at the screen where it is. I should be looking at the camera. One of the nice things about what I'm doing right now is I've already created multicam files. So every single one of our interviews we shot with 2 cameras, and we shot them both in 4K. So that way we've got a lot of flexibility when it comes to framing and that kind of stuff. So that way I'm able to have that kind of fun when it comes to trying to trim it all and make it come together. That being said, it took a long time to actually just render those multicam files, so that's not something I would sit here and do. And that's usually like step 1 when I get home from a shoot. And so now I'm just cutting these multicam files, and then when I go to do the edit, I can literally just toggle back and forth here between my different camera angles. This literally just lets me click on the other camera angle and I can cut back and forth. Makes it super, super simple and easy. Yeah. That's one of the nice things about Final Cut, is it's really easy to use. Don't tell Premiere users that because they get mad. Right, Scott? Scott, how is the level balance between my talking and the computer? What is up, Ray? I am glad you could join us. Are the kids driving you crazy right now, Ray? Hopefully I'm on headphones so they can't hear. Yes, Ray, I'm so glad that when you edit, you use Final Cut. Let me actually jump ahead. There we go. Were you guys able to hear that? Or are you still not able to hear the computer? Yay or nay?
ከጨረስኩ በኋላ ከተመረኩ በኋላ በቲቺንግ ተማርኩኝ ተመርቄ ከዛ እዚህ እድሉ ተሰጠኝና በፊትም ስናዳ ስለነበረ ያው እድሉ ተሰጠኝ እዚህ ገባሁ ተመርቄ
Ray, are you able to hear it now? I've never really used favorites. The keywords is just for me to know what cameras, and that's actually something that gets done on import, is so I can just go straight to each camera, because some of these days we were shooting. These are all up here. You can kind of see all of these are A7 cameras. We were shooting a bunch of different cameras. Sorry. The FFF is A6600 and then FS5 and RX100. So really for me, it's to be able to bounce through and know. Of course you're listening to Tupac in the background, Ray. So the keywords is more for me to jump to a specific camera as needed. That way it's quick and simple, nothing too crazy, but then it's also sorted by day. I don't get too crazy into that, so it's not anything I've really used more of. I've thought about using keywords for like interviews and non-interviews, but I don't know if it's something that's big enough for me to go about it. And these keywords are actually done directly upon import. So when I import, it keeps the folder structure and basically just makes each folder structure of so like my folder when I import, I'll grab the entire day and I'll grab all of the subfolders that are video related, and then what I'll do is I'll just do that as one import into an event for that day. That way it just takes care of the whole day. Then that automatically creates those keywords. So yeah. Ray, you might have to teach me on a FaceTime call a little bit more of favorites. because now I'm super curious. I've never really gotten into going further into file organization on Final Cut just because I'm comfortable with what I've had and it's worked for me, but some of these projects are getting bigger, so it could come in handy. All right.
ይችላል አሪፍ ነው። እኔ በፊትም እዚህ ረዳ በነበረበት ጊዜ እንደሚሆን አይነት ነገር በጣም ደስ ይለኛል እዚህ ሳስተምራቸው እና በጣም ነው የምወዳቸው። ደስ ብሎኝ ነው የምሰራው። አመሰግናለሁ።
When I was in Yezalalem, I like to interact with kids, so I'm happy to have this job.
ዘላለም ተማኝቴ ብዙ ነገር ተለውጦልኛል ማለት በመንፈሳዊ ዙሪያም ቢሆን እንደገና ደግሞ በማህበራዊ ግንኙነት ከሌሎች ጋር ብዙ አይነት ግንኙነት እንድንፈጥር አድርጎልናል። ከጓደኞቻችን ጋር አብረን በምንሆንበት ጊዜ ብዙ አብረን በምንሄድበት ጊዜ ብዙ ነገሮችን ከነሱ ጋር አብረን እናሳልፍ ነበርና
No, Ray, you're good. Having to jump back to old projects is actually why I'm super curious about the favorites thing, because perfect example, I probably now this summer am going to have to jump back into some edits for E4 project, and that was a project I did in 2017, and I'll need like coffee specific stuff, so if I had keyworded it correctly back then, it would definitely make my life easier now to find the coffee related stuff.
በጣም ጥሩ ነውና ክርስቲያን በመሆናቸውም አስተዳደጋቸውም ሁሉ ነገራቸው እንደ ቤተሰብ ስለሆነ ብዙ ነገርን ለውጦልኛል። በማህበራዊ ግንኙነትም ሆነ በእያንዳንዱ ነገር በኢኮኖሚያዊም ቢሆን አሁን አሪፍ ደረጃ ላይ ነው የሚገኘው። በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል።
She feels like she has got a family here, so it helps us to grow in person as a person, and she could be able to interact with others, so that she have more friends here.
Awesome. Is there anything else you can think of, Jyoti? Ray, are you able to hear the computer now? Ray, I'm slightly jealous that your computer listens.
እናም ከዛም በመቀጠል ከትምህርቴ በኋላ በጨረስኩበት ሁኔታ ስራ መቀጠል ችያለሁ እዚህ በአቶ ነሲብ
After I
እርዳታ።
completed my schooling and I got the first opportunity, YCM or Yezalalem Minch gave me the first opportunity to hire here as a staff.
እናም ከዛም ባለፈ ከስራውን ባሻገር በጣም በብዙ ነገር ውስጥ እዚህ ስራ ውስጥ ብዙ ነገር አሳልፌያለሁ። ከልጆች ጋር ከስታፎች ጋር በመልካም ሁኔታ ውስጥ ሰርቼ ይቻላል ማለት ነው። የተሻለ ስራ አግኝቼ
ከእርዳታ ወደ ስራው
ብዙ ጊዜ ተረድቻለሁኝ። ያው የመሳሰሉትን ፋሲሊቲዎች ማግኘት ይችላልኝ።
When I was a beneficiary, I got different support from the project, just as any beneficiary in the program.
እናም ከእርዳታው ባለፈም በብዙ ነገር ውስጥ የስራውን የመቀጠር ሁኔታ ላመሰግን የምፈልገው አባባዬ ነው። በዚህ አጋጣሚ
I wanted to appreciate Ababai. Ababai is my dad. He saved me that because the opportunity now, because of the opportunity that he got to be hired here as the first time to make his own money.
እናም ከዛ በመቀጠልም ስራውንም በአግባቡ ሰርቻለሁ ብዬ አስባለሁ። ዋይዜም ውስጥ በመስራቴም ደግሞ እጅግ በጣም
One of the reasons I just noticed that's nice of shooting 4K is if you look down in this right hand corner, there's one of her backpack straps. So at least I'll be able to crop in and get rid of that when we actually use this, if we use this clip.
ደስተኛ የሚያደርገኝ በብዙ ነገር ውስጥ ውጤታማ እንደሆነ የሚረዳኝ እዚህ በመስራቴ ነው።
I was really benefited by the ministry from the very beginning as a beneficiary, again as a staff here because I have different relation and interaction with the people and with the staff, and I develop, you know, a lot of experience with the staff, and that also brought us a positive impact on my life.
So one of the big things that we're trying to do is show the positive impact that YZM has had on lives of the people they've helped. We've talked to people from varying ages of like high school students all the way up to graduates that are now working full-time jobs, which is what these people are in this set of interviews. We also interviewed like teachers and other people involved with the programming. And really, that's a fantastic soundbite. So I'm just going to go ahead and move to the next interview. And I've done a little bit with this project, so I have some markers. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull in what my markers were for this interview.
The clothes and buying and school materials. Now you are ready?
Yeah, it's okay. We'll just trim it.
Okay. But she has to speak, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can start now.
got it. ስሜ ብለሽ ተጀምሪያለሽ ወከቴ ነው።
እሺ ስሜ ሂሩት ፉፊ ይባላል።
Good question, Ray. So every interview is different. So this one, on this project, we were using Westcott Ice Lights and the Lytra Pro, which is a little teeny guy. And this shot was actually lit from, if you're looking at her, so coming over off camera like here is 2 Westcott Ice Lights that I had almost in like a mini KinoFlow setup that I had piggybacked together on a dove plate. I can send you one of the photos or post that up. Actually, we'll pull it up right now. So Ethiopia, Westcott, there we go. So this gives you a little glimpse into what that actual interview setup was. So we had a little bit of influence on it, but not a ton. So originally, where this chair was a conference table that we literally pulled out. And the reason we had to use this room was everywhere else had a lot more stuff, or B, was a darker room, so we were fighting to get light more. And then also noise from the preschool that was going on literally right outside the window. So it was a balance of what we were trying to get. Then when we were outside, we had a similar, it didn't have nearly as much effect, but it added just enough to make it so that we had a little more color on the face because there was so much outside. So if we go, I mean, you can see you're still super bright and blown out in some of these spots in the background, but this made it a little bit better. And this was about as close as we could get with the light before we got into frame. So it was kind of one of those like trying to fight as much as we could, but we knew we couldn't really overpower the sun just because of the nature of not having a really, really strong, powerful light on us. And that's the nature of the beast with this type of work. Some of my projects we are using even less lighting, but this one we were able to use these ice lights, and it did a pretty good job. Wasn't again the most powerful, but it did enough to just give us a little bit of fill and create a little depth. Good question. Yeah, every single one of these was different. And then if we come up here, obviously I haven't done any coloring on this, but you can see that we've got a little bit of light here, and then the background is literally lit by 2 Lytras, and I actually like the tight angle better for this. So the background is lit by 2 Lytra Pros at full power, and then Heya is lit by the 2 ice lights. So you can kind of see there you go. So you've got little teeny elytra there, and then this was, we were trying to get enough to cover him in front, but it's, yeah. So doing the best we can, and this really gave us enough information that to even just do a quick, well, there we go, switch back over, and then just to do a quick, like, I mean, we're still plenty good on there, and then bring up the saturation a little bit. So yeah, I mean, that's still a pretty solidly usable image, and we didn't have to do a ton of work to get it there. And that was, again, just the ice lights and the lytras. Yeah, super helpful lights. And then let me see if I got it. There we go. So this was, here's another example. Boom. And then I can toggle off effects. Oh yeah, because we had some built in deeper. Hang on one second. Multiple 4K files. There we go. All right, so we're gonna jump in. What the? There we go. So this gives you an idea of what we started with, and we're actually gonna, that's really what we started with there, and then we were able to bring it to, oh, I think I got it, let's load for a second. I think we lost my mother. She probably got bored of listening to me. Come on, load. Anyways, you guys get the gist of this. Do you have any other questions on that, Ray? Where did what I want go? There we go. All right, that was the last interview there.
ስሜ ዝናሽ ሸዋዬ ነው። የዘላለም ምንጭ ሲመሰረትም አብሬ ነበርኩኝ ነኝ። እዚህ ሌላ
Have her describe what she does here.
እኔ ማህበራዊ ሰራተኛ ነኝ። ከልጆች ጋራ ነው። በፊት እንሰራ ነበረ። ያው ደስ ይለኛል ከልጆች ጋራ በሙለው ከወላጆች ጋራ በምሰራበት ጊዜ እዚህ ድርጅት ከገባው ጀምሮ ደስተኛ ሆኜ ነው የምሰራው።
Oh, hey, Andy. Glad you could join us. Andy, does this bring back any memories?
ሆለታ በጣም ያየሁት እድገት መጀመሪያ ላይ ልጆቹን መለምልና ከመንግስት ጋርም ሆነን ነበር የመለመን ነው። በጣም እንትን ያሉ ነበር። በጣም የሚያሳዝኑና በሚያሳዝኑ ሁኔታ ላይ ያሉ ነበሩ። አሁን ግን ብዙ ለውጥ አለ። እዚህ በሚደረግላቸው እርዳታን በመማርም ብዙ ለውጥ አለ። ብዙዎች ወላጆችም ሆነ ልጆች ተለውጠው በማየቴ በጣም ደስ ይላል።
Hey, Andy, curiosity question from your vantage point as one of the guys who was on this project. Ray was just asking about lighting with the interviews and thoughts on the lighting we were able to do, how we were able to pull it off, what we might have been able to do differently to create a different, maybe better results. I'm curious. Yes, right now we're looking at Haleta. Yes, Haleta. I think. Hang on. I'm pretty sure this was Haleta. Oh yeah. It says it right there. Haleta. All right, yeah. I'd be curious in the comments what your thoughts are on the lighting we were able to use and that kind of stuff. Definitely interested in your vantage point with what we brought.
እና ደግሞ እስከ አሁን ድረስ ስንሰራ በኪራይ ነበረም ኪራይ እየጨመሩብን የተለያዩ ውጡ ምንም
Andy, now you got me paranoid. Yes. The 12th was Haleta. All right, so those are some good sound bites that I'll probably want to have. Oh, I did not mean to do that. That's what I was going for. There we go.
ስሜ አብርሃም ተሾመ ይባላል። የዘላለም ምንጭ ህጻናትና ህብረተሰብ ልማት ፕሮጀክት የሆለታ ፕሮጀክት እንትን ነኝ፣ ኦፊሰር ነኝ።
What does he do? Like, what is his daily tasks?
እንግዲህ የኔ የዕለት ተዕለት
Andy, that's a great way to put it about the lighting.
እንግዲህ የኔ የዕለት ተዕለት እንቅስቃሴ ወይም ስራዬ የሚመለከተው በወለታ የዘላለም ምንጭ ህጻናትና ህብረተሰብ ልማት ታቅፎ ያሉ ልጆችን የሚያስፈልጋቸውን ነገር በወቅቱ ማድረግ፣ በእቅዱ መሰረት ስራዎች እንዲከናወኑ እደላዎችን በእቅዱ መሰረት ስራዎች እንዲከናወኑ እደላዎችን በእቅዱ መሰረት ለልጆቹ እንዲደርሱ ልጆች ደግሞ ትምህርታቸውን በአግባቡ እየተማሩ መሆናቸውን መከታተልና መቆጣጠር።
My daily responsibility is to implement the project as per the project and to oversee the whole activities of
Andy, are you talking about when we shot at Nasibu and Bertakan's house?
and to see the children until they are class, to come here and to have interaction with the community workers. This is my responsibilities.
What would he help?
በሁኔታ ላይ ምን ተጽዕኖ በጎ ተጽዕኖ ፈጠረ ታስባለህ? የዘላለም ምንጭ
እንግዲህ የዘላለም ምንጭ ወደ ሆለታ ከመጣ ጀምሮ አሁን 10ኛ ዓመት ሆኖታል። በዚህ 10 ዓመት ውስጥ ከልጆች ላይ ካመጣው ተጽዕኖ በተጨማሪ በመንግስት ሴክተር መስሪያ ቤቶች ብዙ ለውጦች መምጣታቸውን እነሱም የምስክር ወረቀት በመስጠት ይህንን አረጋግጠውልናል። ተቀባይነቱ በቤተሰብም በመንግስትም ያለን ተቀባይነት በጣም ከፍተኛ ነው።
I also like how you guys go in streaks of who's talking, because it was Scott first, then it was Ray, and now it's all Andy. You guys can interact, you know. Scott, you like to have meetings about everything. Andy, what interview setup was your favorite of all of them, if you have one? One of the things to go with what Andy was saying about our time frame, we didn't always have much time to set up our interviews. So like a perfect example, which day was it? No, not this day. This. So, wait. There was one day. Where was it? Yeah, it was this one. We had gone to, or no, it wasn't. Was it this day? No, it was Friday. So we showed up and we were supposed to go somewhere else, and or was that on the 14th, Andy? Or the 13th? Yeah, it was later. So we showed up, and all of a sudden it was, oh hey, you have to shoot this interview right now, and then go out here and do this interview, and then come back here and do another interview that we didn't know about. So there was times when we would be like, oh, you got 5 minutes to set up the interview because the person's waiting and they have to go to work. Always makes for a great day. when you don't expect that. Or like, no, what is my, Andy, the thing that got scratched was shooting coffee, which was in Holetta. That was because of the protests. Yeah. Meetings definitely are the worst. Planning is definitely the best. Yeah. All right. I think that's about where I'm going to call it quits, guys. I've got a pretty good jump on this, and we're still waiting on some final things for the edit. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. Thanks for jumping in, asking some good questions. I will chat with you guys soon, and have a great day.